Yo, what's up? It's your boy and I'm back with some more Truth and Fact Sports Talk. All right, yo, get the brooms out, baby. Rain the confetti from the building. So as you guys know, man, the Golden State Warriors swept the Cleveland Cavaliers, and pretty much that was a foregone conclusion. And I really knew that because when they didn't win Game 1, I knew that was it. That was it. They was going to get swept because that was their best opportunity, and they was never going to be in a position where the way that Golden State played, I knew they wasn't going to play like that again. And it showed throughout the playoff series. Like, hell, even in this game, you go back to Game 3 when it was Kevin Durant who got off. Then in this game, it was Steph Curry, who got off. So make no mistakes in taking nothing away. Listen, the Cleveland Cavaliers just did not have enough firepower to beat this team. And they didn't. They did not have enough firepower. I'm sorry. They did not. You got Steph Curry, Thompson, Green, and then you add Kevin Durant. Then they had West, Iguodala. So they didn't have enough firepower. But it doesn't change what I saw in Game 4, which was the Cleveland Cavaliers quit. They basically quit. Okay, in Cleveland, in a home game, on their fans, and they took their lead. I'm sorry, y'all, but they took their lead from their leader, LeBron James. LBJ, they took their lead from LBJ. Now, some of you guys are gonna bring up, because LeBron mentioned something in ESPN about how he had a self-inflicted hand injury from Game 1. He punched the blackboard and all that. Fine, and that's fine and dandy. Here's the problem: when you're the greatest player in the game, right? I don't care if you have an injury. Your ability to motivate the team is not just sometimes about how you play out there on the court, right? Like, even with that hand injury, or even with what happened in Game 1 and with a hand injury, Michael Jordan would never have allowed his team to play like that, not without getting in somebody's ass. Magic Johnson would never have allowed his team to play like that. Larry Bird would never have allowed his team to play like that. Isaiah Thomas would never have allowed his team to play like that. And I can go on and on and on. Great players, when you are truly a great player, even if you're telling me you're not 100%, you would not allow your team, okay, to reflect what I saw in Game 4 from Cleveland Cavaliers. And I'm going to say it again. They took their lead from LeBron James. Okay, that's where they took their lead from LBJ. Now, listen, granted, and I'm always going to say this, right? I will always have an asterisk by Kevin Durant winning the championship title, because he did leave a championship quality team in OKC, which OKC was up 3-1 to Golden State, and then they lost 3 straight. And then he left and went to the dudes that kicked their ass. Okay, I understand it, though. He wants to win the title, so I put an asterisk by his name, just like I have an asterisk about LeBron James championship titles when he was over there in Miami. But give credit where credit is due to Golden State. All right, Golden State, and I think it was said best by Mark Jackson. They were just a tougher team, mentally and physically. They were just a tougher team than the Cleveland Cavaliers. Right. And Mark Jackson brought up a great point. If you look through some of the early injuries that Steph Curry had to go through, Klay Thompson, some of his issues, right? They were just a more mentally tough team than the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers, and I don't feel bad for LeBron James. I'm gonna tell you why, because this is the team that LeBron James wanted. LeBron James had been running around acting like the GM. Okay. He's the reason why Kyrie Irving had left. Then, you wanted to bring in Love and J.R. Smith. Okay. So these are the dudes that you signed off on, with upper level management to get these guys over here, and the move that you made. So I don't feel bad for LeBron James at all. Okay. And I really don't. But I will say this. This team I saw in Game 4 from the Cleveland Cavaliers, I don't see them coming out the East next year, not with that fucking attitude. Okay, because some of these teams in the East, that Boston team, Boston is going to make some moves and get better. So Cleveland needs to make some moves, and it's hard for me to see what kind of moves they're going to make. But there is one point I want to bring up is it's going to be hard to make any kind of moves if LeBron James is going to leave. So if LeBron James is going to stay, he needs to make that apparent right away immediately so they can start making some moves early. He don't need to be dragging his shit out to see what happens, because you can mess around, be dragging this out, then say to yourself, well, I'm going to stay, and it's too late to make any moves because you did all that. So if he's going to stay, he's got to stay right now. I just don't see the incentive for him staying, because you're not going to win with this team. I'm sorry, you're just not. This is not a mentally tough fucking team. And it just isn't. And I'm going to say this too. It's not a mentally tough team because they have a leader who at times have mental lapses his goddamn self. Because I don't care what nobody say to me, even if you want to tell me about him hurting his hand from punching the blackboard, which, they wanted to keep it a secret to not give Golden State an edge. And I feel like, okay, you should have continually kept that shit a secret. I don't want to hear that. I really don't want to hear that. I tell y'all, just like when I talk boxing, what I tell you, I don't give grown men excuses, and I don't. If I show up for work, okay, and I don't feel good, I still have to fucking perform my job to the best of my ability. Because that's what they expect. I could have called in on a sick day, but since I decided to show my ass up, then I got to give 100%. Okay, and I'll say this one more time. I can name a bunch of great players: Isaiah Thomas, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. I can name a bunch of great players that would have never allowed their fucking team to reflect what I saw in Game 4, and they took their lead from their leader, LeBron James, LBJ, LeBron James, right? Now, don't get it twisted. There is still a lot of things about him I think is unfair. But, the whole talk of greatest of all time and all that, listen, LeBron James is probably the best player of this era. And he is. But, and I do agree with people when they say stop with the Michael Jordan comparison, stop with the greatest of all time. I agree with that. Listen, Michael Jordan could not have even won with this Cleveland Cavaliers team, right? And he just couldn't. He could not have won. And for people, and I'm gonna tell y'all how I know it, because he when he had a team like that, they didn't even go to the NBA Finals. When he had a team like that, when he had a team like what we saw in Cleveland, they didn't go to the NBA Finals. But if they would have gone to the NBA Finals, you would not have seen that kind of performance being allowed by a Michael Jordan. There's no way Michael Jordan would have been sitting on the sidelines, okay, allowing his team to show that kind of that lack of heart, that much lack of heart. Okay, perfect example. You know what? I don't know if you guys remember. I remember when Xavier McDaniels was messing with Scottie Pippen hard. I remember this. And Michael Jordan got all up in Xavier McDaniels' face. Okay. Same thing with Magic Johnson. I've seen Isaiah Thomas go at Magic. I've seen Magic go at Isaiah Thomas. I've seen Magic go at it with Bird. I've seen Bird pretty much go at it with everybody. And that's, like I said, man, I could sit here. I could sit here and go off all day long. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to the Golden State Warriors. I would still congratulate them. I mean, shit, they did what they needed to do. Whether you want to see they had a stacked team or not, they still had to go out there and perform and play. And they did what they should have done with a stacked team, which is, hey, we're the superior team. Get your ass out of here and sweep them. So, congratulations, Golden State Warriors. I don't know what the future holds for Cleveland, but like I said, this whole talk of greatest of all time, LeBron James is the best player of this era. Listen, he's went to 8 straight NBA Finals. He's 3-6 in the NBA Finals, where most cats don't even get to make it to the NBA Finals. Okay, most cats don't even get to make it to the NBA Finals, and then there's a lot of cats that have made it and haven't won either. Right? But bottom line is, Cleveland's going to have to make some moves, and maybe whatever moves they're going to make should not include LeBron James being part of their moves. And I'm just going to say that they should not, if they're going to make any kind of moves, maybe you should exclude LeBron James from being a part of those moves, meaning that, yes, if he stays with the team, fine. But, as far as the personnel we bringing in, no, we're going to run this because we tried it your way and look at where it got us. So now we're going to run this, LBJ. All right, man, it's your man, Bo, man. Tell me what you guys think, man. Peace.